Angeles, weighing in at 400 pounds, the world's strongest man, Mark Henry.
His manager, Daivari, is not here tonight. He was taken out at Saturday Night Main Event by The Undertaker after a tombstone pile driver on top of a casket. But this man here said a few weeks ago that he fears nothing.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, those are strong words by a strong man. The world's strongest man, to be exact, and that is who Mark Henry is. Mark Henry claims, as he looks at that casket, which quite possibly is his fate, that he does not fear the casket and he does not fear The Undertaker.
This is the man who took out Batista. This is the man who pinned the World Heavyweight Champion Kurt Angle a couple of weeks ago. This is the man who you saw splash The Undertaker through the announce table and also splash Kurt Angle through a table a few weeks back. He is indeed the world's strongest man.
Mark Henry looks ready. Mark Henry knows he's going into a nasty fight with the Dead Man.
The Undertaker is 13-0 at WrestleMania. It is an absolutely amazing streak. One that will never, in my mind, be beaten. It's much like Joe DiMaggio's hitting streak, or the Dolphins' perfect season, or the Celtics' string of world championships. It is a feat that one man has accomplished. That man, the Phenom, the legendary, the sure-to-be Hall of Famer, The Undertaker.
And 9 out of 10 times, this is the point before the match that The Undertaker's opponents lose, because they're in fear of the Dead Man. And as you can see here, Mark Henry doesn't look that much fear on his face. He's talking some trash earlier as the Dead Man was walking out here.
Mark Henry says he fears nothing. But let's take a look at the list of the men who have fallen at the hands of The Undertaker over the years. Jimmy Superfly Snuka, Jake the Snake Roberts, the Giant Gonzalez, King Kong Bundy, Diesel, Psycho Sid, his brother Kane twice, the Big Boss Man, Triple H, Ric Flair, the A-Train, the Big Show, and Randy Orton. The Undertaker, undefeated, unstoppable at WrestleMania.
Not afraid. Mark Henry is not afraid. I'd be, tell you that.
For the first time in WrestleMania history, The Undertaker does not have to be pinned or made to submit to lose a matchup. In this casket match, there are no rules. You must beat your opponent so badly that you roll him or throw him into the casket and close the lid. That's how you win the thing.
Absolutely, and the thing is, Mark Henry, I'll tell you what, he's got that confidence thing on his side, and usually when someone has the confidence, no matter if you're a team or an individual in a competition, you know, you can usually win it because you believe in yourself.
The Undertaker has a tremendous history here in Chicago. In fact, at WrestleMania 13, The The Undertaker won the WWE Championship here. He would love to continue the legacy tonight.
See the look in the eyes of the world's strongest man. Here we go.
Mark Henry ambushing The Undertaker from behind. Perhaps wise strategy by Mark Henry.
I think it was a great move by Mark Henry. For 1 second, the dead man took his eye off the game and off of Mark Henry and got caught. And now Mark Henry bringing the power, bringing the offense.
The Undertaker made the challenge for the casket match. Mark Henry did not blink. He said, bring it on, big man. And here comes the man who deadlifts nearly 1,000 pounds, driving a right hand into the head of The Undertaker. Mark Henry.
Look out, watch you!
But there's the veteran, The Undertaker with a big boot off the ropes. And that is like, oh man, he couldn't even knock the big man down.
No, and it's not often that The Undertaker can't knock somebody off their feet.
For a third time, oh, The Undertaker knocked off his feet.
And you can see Mark Henry extremely intense here tonight at WrestleMania 22.
Choking The Undertaker again, ladies and gentlemen. There are no rules in the matchup. That's why the referee is not in the ring. There are 2 referees stationed at ringside next to the casket. Their job will be to close the lid as we take another look at the impact of the world's strongest man. Watch and listen.
That's a clothesline. Oh.
Did you see 400 pounds of Mark Henry landing on the back of the neck of The Undertaker? Here's a man who competed in the Olympics nearly 10 years ago, Mark Henry. But this is a much different man, Taz. He is a man now. He's not a young kid. He is a man, Mark Henry, with a vicious side of him.
And you're about to see the vicious side of him. Oh, he blocked it.
Undertaker blocked it, followed it with an elbow. And it's Mark Henry bouncing off the steps.
Still hasn't knocked him off his feet. Oh, he blocked it himself.
Undertaker!
Oh my God.
Driven to his knees.
You hear that?
Every time Undertaker tries to get back on top, it's Mark Henry.
Got that power advantage, that strength advantage.
Mark Henry's got it. You hear the Undertaker chants here in Chicago. Taz, Mark Henry.
There's the casket, by the way.
Mark Henry has a chip on his shoulder. He believes he should either be champion or be battling for the championship. He thinks it's The Undertaker who cost him the championship opportunity. And look at Undertaker with the right hands.
Bringing those big old soup bones the dead man is. Uppercut right to the jaw. And now look at this, Undertaker going with that arm ringer. Might be going a little, school here. Cole might be going a little old school in the Windy City.
Mark Henry with a right hand to the gut. Driving the elbow to the back of the neck. Seems like Mark Henry is meeting The Undertaker at every turn.
Yeah, seems like, you're right. It does seem like Mark Henry, the world's strongest man, is maybe a half a step up ahead of what The Undertaker's got in mind.
Mark Henry focused, and now he's calling for the casket. Calling for the casket to be open.
Size of that thing. It looks like a shed, not a casket.
Again, you got to put your opponent inside that casket to win this matchup and close the lid.
Well, it might happen. That thing is gigantic. Look at the size of those chains. Now look, the Undertaker might be going in that thing, Cole.
And here's Mark Henry driving that boot 400 pounds into the sternum, the gut of The Undertaker, trying to push him, trying to force him into the casket. Undertaker doing what he had, a desperation move to stay in the game.
Like a low blow there, right? You know, it's all good, all good. Basically no rules. Just got to get your man in that casket. Now the lid gets closed because no one's close to it. Bam! What a straight right hand by the ever strong and powerful and thick 400-pound Mark Henry.
Undertaker whipped across the ring into the corner. Here comes the 400-pounder, runs into the boot of The Undertaker. Caught him, I believe, in the shoulder.
Quite possibly the shoulder. Yeah, looks like that. Looks like Undertaker now bringing that arm and trying to dislocate that rotator cuff or the AC joint in his shoulder. Went for it before. Can he get it now? Go for old school.
Undertaker going for old school again. This is vintage Undertaker. The balancing act on the tightrope. Delivering the blow to the shoulder. But again, Mark Henry is still on his feet.
Undertaker has not yet knocked Mark Henry off his feet in this match. Hooked the head and the arm here.
Ooh, look at that.
Well, we've seen that man go for a move like that where he drives his opponent on his forehead. Nice counter by the world's strongest man.
Mark Henry just seems to have everything the Undertaker has in his game plan scouted out perfectly.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Henry just said open it. And you hear the Henry sucks chants here in Chicago.
What's Mark Henry gonna do here?
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Wait a minute! Nobody home! Mark Henry landed feet first in the casket! Undertaker with the right hand!
He's still standing.
Undertaker could be moments away from going.
Uh-oh, uh-oh.
Now Undertaker in the casket!
What the hell? They're both in there.
Well, what do you do if the lid's closed on both of them?
Well, Mark Henry still left up and knocked off his feet. Both men are in the casket. Mark Henry wearing out the dead man.
Trying to beat the Undertaker down. Mark Henry.
What's going on?
Well, he's got it. Oh, look at this.
Uh-oh.
Look at this.
Uh-oh.
Look at this.
Got goozled. Got goozled.
Mark Henry in trouble. Undertaker with an elbow.
Back elbow to the face. Straight right hand again. Undertaker building momentum. And both men are still standing. Well, now one in the casket.
Undertaker driving Mark Henry back into the ring.
That could have went either way there when they were both in there.
Right hand by the Undertaker again. Another right hand of the world's strongest man. Undertaker trying to build a little bit of momentum. And he's caught.
Wow.
Caught in there. And driven to the mat below. There's no pins though.
That's
no
right.
pins, Mr. Henry. You've got to put the man in the casket.
Mark Henry just by instinct went for a cover. Well, Mark Henry's never been in a casket match before, right?
Exactly.
Well, you know, it's not your typical type matchup.
Well, it's natural instinct for anybody in the ring to go for the cover after a move like that. And now, the Undertaker is down and out. Mark Henry trying to roll him into the casket. Undertaker.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Again.
Uh-oh, standing up again. No, it's the dead man.
Back to his feet. Mark Henry hung up on the second rope.
Well, the Undertaker, kind of like a hot shot of sorts across the throat with that second rope of the ever thick bull-like neck of Mark Henry.
Undertaker with the right hand. Could this be the opening that the Undertaker has been waiting for all match long?
Nice headbutt. Oh, to no avail again. Mark Henry again. He has not been knocked off his feet, right?
Oh!
Answer your question.
Well, he brought himself off his feet.
Yeah, I meant knocked off his feet. Undertaker never knocked the guy down. That's what I'm saying.
Undertaker back to his feet as well. Mark Henry with a big right hand. Undertaker's in trouble. Mark Henry, if he can defeat The Undertaker tonight, Taz, would cement his name in WrestleMania history. This is a defining moment for Mark Henry, the world's strongest man, who's been giving The Undertaker all he can handle.
What the hell? Mark Henry's never on no ropes. Look at this.
Can you imagine the force being driven into the side of the head of The Undertaker?
Mark Henry.
Oh my! A last ride! A last ride out of the corner by The Undertaker!
Kinda. That was close. I mean, that's a lot of power by that dead man there. Like a running power bomb, I'm thinking. Let's see if he gets him up higher.
This is the last ride of the world's strongest man. Undertaker's version. I guess, as you said, he can't get him up any higher.
I don't know how much he tried, but look at this.
Mark Henry under the lid of the casket.
If the lid would have been open, Henry would have been in there. What? Woulda, coulda, shoulda, but didn't.
Undertaker suddenly has the advantage. He has been through a battle here tonight. He will not soon forget The Undertaker.
Oh my God!
Undertaker!
Holy cow!
Undertaker launching himself.
Watch this. Air dead man.
For 13 straight WrestleManias, The Undertaker has given us a memory we can all relive, and that was another one.
That was amazing. Holy damn near 7-foot-tall Undertaker flying through the air like a damn 767. Holy shoulders! No way! Look at the power!
This is 400 pounds.
Oh my God!
Stone pile driver.
That is gotta be the end of it. Holy cow!
The lid is open.
Well, who says Mark Henry's the world's strongest man? And now look at this goal!
Mark Henry, rest in peace.
Holy smokes!
Here is your winner, The Undertaker.
The Undertaker is 14
But The Undertaker, as you pointed out, again, undefeated at WrestleMania. Holy cow, I can't believe it. This Tombstone, Mark Henry, unbelievable.
Mark Henry gave The Undertaker all he could handle. The Undertaker back on top. The Undertaker back in the title picture, I believe. What a performance by the dead man.